The city is 8 miles away that direction, and the other direction it's 40 minutes over the mountain, and it's just so pretty out here, and you can hear a lot of unique sounds, almost like you can hear stuff coming from the city, but not really. It's just it's the wind off the mountain coming through the trees, a collective of wind rustled trees and branches. But it's really cool. Oh, look at the ring around the phone. It's so frigid out here, man. It's just dropping so rapidly. What is it right now? No, it's 31. It's 2 o'clock. It's a beautiful night. I would love to see some big old deer coming through here. I don't know if these hunters are hunting elk or deer. I haven't seen a sign of no elk. But man, I've seen some beautiful deer. They sure can get big and pretty. I'm always curious if I ever have seen any mule deer out here or anywhere along my journey, because I see deer just more. I see deer as much as I see trees. My dad used to load me and my sister up, and my mom in our Datsun, in the Datsun. I think actually we had a little station wagon of some sort, like a Volvo with a little back to it, because we'd be in the back, and he'd just throw deer right in there with us. He'd shoot him, he'd bring his gun, and he'd go up to the top of the mountain and shoot anything. Male, female, whatever. And he'd throw it in the truck, in the little vehicle we had, and then we'd head home and he'd hang it up. And he'd skin it, leave the fat and gristle and all that, and we'd have stew. And then as I got older, he did the same thing. We'd see him every other weekend and stuff, you know. And we grew up on pumpkin. There was pumpkin in there, tomatoes, onions, zucchini. But it was pretty good. It was good. To this day, I love pumpkin. We had lots of pumpkin. And before we came on this little trip specifically, I was consuming whole pumpkins. It was delicious. Way too much butter, though. I'm going to try it with less butter and less brown sugar this time when I go home, because I'm not done yet. I've been waiting for these pumpkins all year. They're everywhere. But you know what I want to try? I grew up on the little pumpkins, the little guys. I wouldn't mind trying a big pumpkin. Seeing what those are like. You gotta boil them first. You gotta boil those bad boys first. Or just put them in the oven. You gotta put them on low temperature for a lot longer. But shoot, you can put them in for an hour at 350 and they're still hard. But I boil them. I boil them first till they're soft. And then I bake them with butter and brown sugar. And boy, they're good. Just like Dad used to do. We had the little ones, though. And I have never done anything that was bigger. I wonder if it's like catfish, you know? The bigger bigger fish are less sweet, less delicious. I actually like that swamp water taste of the catfish and the trout. You can taste it in trout if it's in lakes. It has that kind of that, almost like you can taste the algae, but I love it. I personally love it. Brr, man, it is getting chilly. Woo. But anyways, this is my job. I watch this thing all night long. All night long. All night. All night long. All night. All night long. You know the moon? It's showing you more than the moon's actually. The moon's only half, and it's kind of showing around, but it's always looked like a tooth. Me and my cousin were sitting in the sandy beach in Hawaii, and we were writing some music, and I told him, I looked up, I says, you know what, that looks like a tooth. Like someone bit into the atmosphere. Like, imagine if this whole thing we see this sky was hard, you know? Some big giant picked it up, tried to bite it, got his tooth stuck in there. And then we proceeded to write a song about man on the moon. I speculated that he was this guy that was in chains attached to the moon, and he had long, bright white dreads. And he'd be skanking, and his dreads would be miles long, and just, you know, following the course his head made. But it's fun to have imagination, especially when you're out underneath the beautiful, powerful elements as this here. But that's about that. That's about enough. I'm gonna try to catch a nap. I got the lights on over here. Got the lights on over here. And yeah, that's a wrap. I have an exhaust leak, so I have to air out the carbon dioxide so I don't die. I paid $1,500 for the exhaust leak to be fixed. And nope. Gotta take it back in and figure out how not to get ripped off. But anyways, yep, it is what it is. I'm getting a new truck here pretty soon, so I just have to cut my loss if we can't get it fixed. Let me tell you what, they did one hurried job when I first got this truck 2 years ago to fix. They did a crap job because they didn't want to buy a new catalytic converter. They didn't want to take the exhaust down. They were doing things too quick and they messed stuff up. So I brought it in, had a leak this whole time, and had him look at it. And he was like, man, they messed your catalytic converter up, and they had to take the exhaust down and re-weld the catalytic converter. And I'm so uneducated. I don't know when I'm getting ripped off. I just know it doesn't quite feel like I'm getting up and up, you know. But what can you do? I guess it pays to get educated about something you're wanting to deal with. And that's one thing I just don't know. But if I ever get rich, I'm going to get a garage and start learning how to do stuff on my own. These mechanics I talk to here always give me good advice about my truck. And they started on their own with the truck, with cars. These guys are brilliant mechanics. Some of them are even better than others. They're all brilliant electrician-wise. This is our 107 Vertol. It's our smallest aircraft. and there's less maintenance on it, but they were here until 1:30 tonight. There was a new mechanic, and they were doing a new so, or engine mod or something like that, he said. But it's still powerful, let me tell you. Just nothing like the 234 we have. Yeah. And we got a bunch of those 234s in storage. And we're pulling them out. And we're redecorating them with new life. So that's really neat. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to see if I can take the camera into the shop and show off some of these aircraft, if not get in trouble, because when you first get hired, they tell you not to, you can't show what's going on inside the shop. Because Korea for a long time was trying to get the plans to these, try to reverse engineer it and all that. I mean, there's just like so much terrorism involved in trying to get these ships reproduced. We've sold 2, so people are buying them, but they're $35 million. The big ones are $42 million. I think these are 25. The bigger ones are 42. But I know they pay my money. They pay my bills. They put steak on my doggy's plate. They give me whatever I want. I can afford anything I need. You know, when I first started this job, I almost killed myself on accident by having so much money. New money. It's a real thing. It is a real thing. I didn't know what I was. It's just insane. I was just drinking so much and partying, not sleeping. This with 2 different women a day. And it all catches up with you. But I drank myself fat. I drank myself almost to 400 pounds. And I got sleep apnea. And my oxygen was getting down to 50. I went into ICU with the oxygen of 84. 50 at night. As soon as I woke up, it got up to the 80, 79. But, yeah, it was down to 84. And they rushed me in, and I'm sure that 84 was high. But it had been like that for 2 months. I mean, 84 was high for me because I could get to feeling a whole lot worse. I remember me and my homeboy, he got diagnosed with the same heart stuff a month after, which is just still very, very odd. He's my best friend, and I'm not sure. Still kind of perplexed about that. You know, I feel like maybe. Well, hello. Maybe we did something because we partied with some different drugs and stuff. Maybe we did something that hurt our hearts. I don't know. But anyways, we'd be walking in that damn store, and we get down like one aisle, and we were resting. Like we had our hands on the damn aisle, on the corner cap, and couldn't even, just dead. Oh, I knew there was a problem when that happened. And in the end, I was staying at home. I didn't want to go out. And he would bring me bottles. I would pay him, and he would bring me bottles. I was drinking fifths of 151. Sometimes I'd have him bring me 2, maybe a 6-pack with it. And I just was killing myself until he decided, he said, I just can't bring you bottles anymore. He's not going to bring me bottles. I went to ICU anymore anyways, and that night I didn't drink. I haven't drank for 4 years. They told me I had 3 years to live because of what I did to my heart, and over the course of that 4 years, my heart returned to normal because I paid attention to what I needed to do. I got educated about what I needed to do. I became aware of what things are hard on my heart and what things help it. Each one of us is different. We have our strengths. It's very odd. Like bending over for me. Like bringing my head close to the ground is hard. I mean but I can walk 5 miles. It's very odd. But a lot happens when you bend over, you know. A lot happens with your blood pressure, with your ventricles in your heart. And there's a lot to it. There's a blood pressure inside your heart as well. And that's kind of how they measure whether or not your heart is doing okay. My numbers are all well below 100, and most people's are like 12, 1,300. My friends is 1,300. I saw that. I was like, what? I was tripping. I was reading his results, and I was trying not to, act surprised, because that affects people when they get this news. And I couldn't help but learn exactly what all the abbreviations on my test meant. My friend, he doesn't really read all that. And I guess there's a little bit of bliss in ignorance. He's not dumb, but he doesn't choose to be educated about all that stuff. And with not being educated about that comes a little bit of ignorance and the ability to kind of be at ease. But when you learn, dang, it just is like you got a whole big reality. You gotta just take it. You gotta take it, and then you become obsessed with it, and you watch your results, and you pit them against the last results, and you look at all the damn. Oh, jeez, man! I for 2.5 years there, I've kind of settled down, but I had just a heck of a time with the reality of what I had done to my heart. I was blessed with beautiful kidneys, blessed with a good, strong liver. I took it there. I took my liver there, though. Let me tell you that. And I feel like just a month more of drinking, I would have gotten cirrhosis, as I'm just absolutely at the edge of becoming possibly early stage cirrhosis. And it just stays there. It doesn't move forward. It moves back a little bit. But it's just like, go ahead, test me, watch what happens. But having your diabetes in check, having your liver in check, having your kidneys in check, having your blood pressure in check, all have a fucking significant effect on your heart. And you have to decide whether or not sodium is good for you. Some people say sodium is good. It's the key to hydration. Some people say a lot of water is good. Some people say not a lot of water is good. I just do a half gallon to a gallon. But I tell you what, if you don't drink enough water, your kidneys will reabsorb that water, and it'll just keep the water inside you. The more water you drink, the more water your body's able to let go. I have not been able to regularly drink water like that to find out if it's true for me, but that's the science behind it. Well, anyways, that's a wrap. I gotta go find somewhere to use the bathroom without getting my head bit off by a coyote. Not a coyote. Coyotes are not what I'm worried about. I am worried about them with the dogs, though, let me tell you, but I haven't heard nothing out here, and I don't understand that. This is the one place I haven't heard any coyotes. And as well, Mount Hood, this place we go to called Miller Pit. I haven't heard any up there either. But everywhere else, man, they're in high presence. I haven't seen nothing out here. I saw a fat skunk tonight, though. That was pretty cool. He was huge. Biggest, he looked like a badger. They're really, really neat creatures. My grandma had a bunch of skunks. Anyways, love you. I'll holler at you. I'm out.